Good evening. So I'd first off like to thank Josiah Valerius, senior in NJ LEEP's College-Bound program, for starting us off with some music this evening. Josiah, let's give him a round of applause. Josiah will be attending NYU Tisch on a full music scholarship next year. Let's give him a big round of applause. And for the most incredible part, Josiah was actually born with significant hearing loss in both of his ears and wears 2 hearing aids, which is truly amazing. Thank you very much, Josiah. You can do us a big round if you like. Good evening. My name is Matt Feinstein, and I am the Executive Director of NJ LEEP. Like many of you in this room, I left college excited to enroll in law school and to see what a career of advocacy had to offer me. But by my second or third day, I decided that the practice of law was not necessarily for me. Sorry, Mom. But I did still want to use my legal skills and perspective that I was gaining in law school to carve my own path. So I started working at NJ LEEP. My first day as a full-time staff member at NJ LEEP was in August 2009, and it was actually also the first day in the College-Bound program for the class of 2013. Among them was a young woman named Chioma Igwebike. Chioma was a polite and respectful student her freshman year of high school, but she wasn't necessarily as focused on academic excellence as her mother might have liked. But I recall very clearly a conversation with Mrs. Igwebike in the fall of Chioma's sophomore year. Chioma's mom wanted to share with us how participating in legal and corporate internships through NJ LEEP over the summer between freshman and sophomore year had truly been a transformative experience for her daughter. Chioma had gained exposure to a profession that excited and energized her, and in turn, her academic performance was on a dramatic upswing. Chioma would continue on this path for the next 3 years and would eventually go, both in high school and at NJ LEEP, and would eventually go on to enroll as an undergraduate student at business school at Rutgers, Newark. A couple of weeks ago, Chioma reached out. Chioma had some news she wanted to share. Because of the skills she had acquired through NJ LEEP and because of all the work that she had done on herself and preparing herself for her future, she was able to compete with the best and the brightest. Chioma was calling to let us know that she had been made an offer for full-time postgraduate employment at Goldman Sachs. Chioma is here with us tonight. Chioma, please stand up. Chioma is going to kill me for putting her out there like that. Chioma's journey perfectly captures what we can accomplish together. When NJ LEEP partners with corporations and law firms to ensure our students have access to the opportunity, support, and resources they deserve, each of our kids is able to accomplish their American dream. And it is precisely for this reason that we would like to thank each of you for your support this evening. It is now my great honor to get down to one of the main reasons we are here tonight, which is to give out some hardware. Each year, NJ LEEP and our Board of Trustees recognize a leader who commits him or herself to the promotion of diversity. This year, our honoree is Mark Rolig, Executive Vice President and General Counsel of MassMutual. As a 13-year-old boy growing up in Michigan, Mark had the incredible opportunity to hear Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speak less than a month before his death. Dr. King encouraged the audience to recognize that, quote, somehow we must come to see that in this pluralistic, interrelated society, we are all tied together in a single garment of destiny, caught in an inescapable network of mutuality. The interconnectedness that Dr. King identified would come to be a theme of Mark's career. Mark is the first lawyer in his family and decided to pursue law after a lawyer came to speak with his civics class in high school. I think there's a striking resemblance between Mark's journey in that way and what NJ LEEP seeks to offer to our students. Since joining MassMutual, Mark has implemented many new programs, including starting its own 1L diversity clerkship program, which gives paid experience to diverse first-year law students. MassMutual has been named a top company for women and overall diversity. Mark is a trustee for the Leadership Council on Legal Diversity, and the company participates in LCLD's Scholars Program. Mark has been an outspoken proponent of diversity and has left an indelible mark on the legal industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 honoree for the promotion of diversity, Mr. Mark Rowley. We have this plate for you, but I will put it back here. Beautiful. Thank you. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. And I really want to thank all of you and appreciate the honor of being recognized here this evening. First, I really appreciate the recognition. I'm humbled by the recognition. But I wanted to make one comment up front, which is my resume and what I've accomplished is really not mine. It doesn't belong to me at all. But it belongs to the teams that I have worked with, both inside and outside counsel, that have really had the opportunity and honor to either lead or work with. So I really thank all of you, many of whom are in this room tonight, for all that you have done to help diversity, inclusion, and frankly, NJ LEEP, which we'll be talking about. So this honor really belongs to them. But as I thought a little bit about this evening and the value that NJ LEEP brings to our communities, I thought I would focus on 4 areas that I believe are critical to our society and frankly, our individual successes. That's education, opportunity, support, and diversity. First, the building block to anybody's success is education. Maybe this was beat into me by my parents. My dad was a nuclear physicist. He taught physics at Wayne State University in Detroit, and then here in the New York area at CCNY. He got involved in college administration, and he became a dean, a provost, and then vice chancellor of the New York City universities. And yes, along the way, he got very much involved in what we used to call civil rights, and was the president of the Grosse Pointe Open Housing Commission, and helped bring Martin Luther King to our high school. And yes, I was there that cold March day in 1968 to hear him speak about the other America. And my mom, she was a teacher in the Detroit school system. So for me, one of my early lessons I learned is that you never skimp, you absolutely never skimp on education, because without education, your opportunities are going to be significantly limited. That really takes me to my second point, which I think all of us in this room, lawyers, believe in a performance-driven culture. But keep in mind that performance is really the combination of ability and opportunity. If you're not given the opportunity, you simply will not have the chance to perform. And with education and opportunity, all is possible. But to really make those possibilities a reality, there is tremendous value in receiving guidance and support. In particular, we live in this complicated, multicultural world with very disparate socioeconomic environments, significantly underserved communities. And for me, as a white male with a good education, with family support, I am truly privileged. I do not see all the advantages and rules that us white males and others with backgrounds like mine create, and how difficult it is to be aware of those rules and to navigate through them if you are not like me. That is where support and guidance is so important to individuals. Finally, I want to say a couple words about diversity. I've often said that results and success are all about talent and teams. So with education, opportunity, and support, you may be a very talented person. But in our current world, individual performance is necessary but not sufficient. We also need to have strong collaborative teams. And diverse and inclusive teams are simply stronger and get better results. And there are 6 reasons for that. Number 1, it's all about talent, as I mentioned. And the talent of the future is going to look very different than me. In the year 2042, whites are going to be a minority in this country, never to be reversed. 57% of undergrads are women, 50% of law school grads are women. The demographics in this country are changing and changing quickly. Number 2, the customers that we all serve, MassMutual serving customers in the insurance business, many of you as lawyers serving corporate clients, the customers are changing. The same demographic destiny that impacts talent is impacting the customers. If we want to understand our customers, if we want to be able to work with them, we simply have to look like them. Third, diverse teams simply make better decisions. You have more input, different inputs, different perspectives, and with that input, you make better decisions. You also, as part of a diverse team, are continuously learning. Coming to the office where you meet people that are different than you, have different perspectives, different religions, different genders, you learn from them, and so you create an environment of continuous learning. Adversity and diversity are the best universities, and there's a lot of truth to that. A diverse environment is also much more creative and innovative. In corporate America, we spend a lot of time talking about innovation and the value of creativity, and we're all trying to innovate. But if you read a book like Walter Isaacson's book on the innovators, you'll see that innovation often occurs, or usually occurs, with the intersection of different perspectives. It could be the person that has the background in nuclear physics that's working with an engineer, or it could be, as Steve Jobs would say, the individual that's involved in liberal arts working with a technologist that create the new innovative products for our future. So innovation and creativity is driven by diversity. Number 5, a team that is diverse is more engaged. Again, in corporate America, law firm America, we want our employees to be engaged, and they will be more engaged if they can come to the office feeling they can be their full self, that they are not having to hide or cover something because they are being accepted and it's a receptive environment for them. Engagement and all these other factors drive the last point, which a diverse team simply is more productive. And keep in mind that diversity is the noun, inclusion is the verb, and you must have both. Neither alone is sufficient. So that brings me all the way back to the value of NJ-LEEP. The value of NJ-LEEP is it provides young adults with the 4 attributes I've mentioned. With that in mind, I really feel truly privileged to support and be associated with NJ-LEEP and truly appreciate this recognition. In closing, I want to read a short handwritten note I received last week that clearly displays the proposition, the value of education, opportunity, support, and diversity. And I understand that many of you have received similar notes to what I did. Dear Mr. Rolig, thank you so much for supporting NJ-LEEP's Gala. I have participated in NJ-LEEP for 2 years and have been exposed to so many different opportunities. I am confident that with NJ-LEEP's support, I can graduate from high school and go to college. Thank you again for supporting NJ-LEEP and students like me. Sincerely, an NJ-LEEP student. So for all of you leaders and other privileged attendees here in the room this evening, let's work together to support NJ-LEEP and give to others what they may not have: education, opportunity, and support. NJ LEEP and I are counting on all of you. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you so much, Mark. I think Mark's remarks perfectly capture one of the central elements of NJ LEEP, which is that idea of community. And that by doing this together, by working together and creating a network of support for each of us and for all of our students, the likelihood of success dramatically increases. As I said, NJ LEEP is a community of support. And so on that note, it is my great privilege to get to introduce to you tonight someone that many of you know, NJ LEEP's Vice Chair of our Board of Trustees, Mr. Jeff Isaacs.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Isaacs. I'm the Vice Chair of NJ LEEP, as Matt said. I've been a board member for several years and have really received the opportunity to see firsthand the evolution of this terrific organization. The board and NJ LEEP recognize the importance of this gala in bringing our supporters together and see the gala as an important building block of long-term relationships, as well as a platform to drive continuity of involvement. This is why I am so pleased to see so many familiar faces who have given generously not only monetarily, but through their commitment of time and effort to this organization. Of course, I'm equally excited to see so many new faces in the room and look forward to your continued involvement in our efforts to level the playing field for our students. So let me welcome all of our supporters here tonight. Thank you again for joining us and supporting NJ LEEP. I look forward to seeing you next year. I would now like to introduce a video that in particular highlights two students you will hear from this evening. Thank you.
For students whose parents, by and large, did not go to college and have, therefore, far less information about the process, about the right types of schools, and going to schools where the guidance counselors have so many other priorities that they need to be focusing on and don't have the space to support them through that process, there's an enormous gap that develops. And that's where NJ LEEP comes in.
And supporting them, they end up going to college. I mean, they may be the first person in their family to have gone to college. So you're creating something unique. They're now a role model for others.
And me as a single parent, like I didn't go to college, and from a teenager I went straight to work. I climbed telephone poles. You didn't need a degree to do that.
When I applied to NJ LEEP, I was looking for a program that will help me be more outspoken, be more confident in myself. And NJ LEEP has done that for me. It's actually helping me grow faster and stronger than my peers.
An essential aspect of what we do is exposing our students to people and professionals who demonstrate and model on a daily basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, the types of skills, the types of habits that our students are going to need in order to be successful.
What I like about NJ LEEP is that it doesn't focus only on that. It actually puts a further horizon for the kids. It talks to them about what it would be like to be a lawyer. It gives them something to shoot for or to focus on, and if you have that, college almost just comes with it.
Even the kids that don't want to study law, I feel like they're taking the writing skills out of it, which is the most important thing.
It's really a personal development program, and law may be the vehicle through which it does that, but NJ LEEP is about building people.
They help us see that there's more than just Newark, there's more than just East Orange, there's more than just that block you live on.
The work is hard, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it. And the fact that you have people that have your back is just so amazing to me.
The community that we serve, the students and the families, have come to recognize the value that together we are able to add to their lives. And every single day, they show up hungry for opportunities to get themselves where they want to go.
She's gotten to do so many different things here than I know she would not have done had she been in another school and not involved in LEEP. And I really appreciate LEEP for every opportunity they've given her.
Because of their experience standing up before a panel of judges, getting comfortable with oral presentations, we're able to stand before this incredibly well-respected, esteemed panel of judges and deliver oral arguments as eloquent, precise, and clear as any lawyer that you'll find out there.
Able to argue in front of these brilliant legal minds, and then to be rewarded in that way, to be recognized in that way, it was an amazing feeling.
My mom is a single parent, so NJ became like the father figure to me in a way. Like they've given me everything, like the protection, the resources. Like this is my second family.
Mr. Feinstein and Miss A, they're like big brothers and big sisters to me.
But taking young people and developing them to the point where they can go off and they can be sent to any college in the country, and I guess in the world, and they can have the skills to learn in that environment, to thrive in that environment, to excel.
NJ LEEP has found a way to change the lives of students in a very tangible way.
I have a full ride to Holy Cross. When I attend college, I will be majoring in political science. I'll be minoring in business. After that, I want to go to law school.
I know one thing overall that NJ LEEP has really embedded in me after the 4 years is giving back to people. Giving back to people that you're surrounded by, people that actually need help.
With whatever I do, whether it's law or some other career, I know that I want to be of service to people.
These students are amazing. They're dynamic, they're enthusiastic.
The potential that our students have is limitless.
Any child who gets the opportunity to come here should take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to get to introduce you tonight to a young woman I have had the opportunity to know and to get to know since she's about 13 or 14 years old, a member of the class of 2016, Miss Nakia Lucas.
Good evening. My name is Nakia Lucas. I have had many losses in my life. After each loss, I had the choice to wallow in defeat or to learn the lessons that come with losing. Because of the support from my mother and brother and NJ LEEP, I have learned how to take advantage of loss. Just like the mythical phoenix arises from its ashes renewed, I have learned how to emerge from the fire of defeat to become a better, more formidable version of my former self. My first major loss came not through mythical fire, but actual fire. In 2007, my family's home caught on fire, and everything, clothes, beds, foods, electronics, was destroyed. Another major loss is my father's absence. He has been in and out of my life and has refused to support me financially. Because he was only 18 when I was born, I hope that my father's desire to be in my life would improve. I hope that this bright future I had been building for myself at NJ LEEP would make him more interested in being a part of my life. But I was wrong. Fortunately, my stepfather was in my life since I was a child. He was the father figure I always hoped my dad would become because he loved me unconditionally. His presence finally made our family feel complete. And then, all of a sudden, he died unexpectedly. When he died, I remembered the day clearly. When my little brother and I found out he had passed, I fell apart. It has been 3 years since he died, and I still struggle to accept it. I worry that loss, the type that hurts so much it cannot be undone, would define me. But my mother, through her example of love and determination, has encouraged me to focus on what we have instead of what we don't have. After the fire, she did not allow us to miss any time at school, found family we could stay with, and continued to honor her commitments at work. Throughout my father's absence, and after my stepfather's passing, my mother worked hard to be my mother and my father, even as she has endured serious health scares. Witnessing my mother's resilience taught me to face my fears and to embrace change, even if it comes by way of tragedy. As I watched my mother conquer challenge after challenge on behalf of our family, I realized that I had to become more determined, more independent, and more committed to preparing for my future. Fortunately, this is when NJ LEEP entered my life. Though it may not seem like it, being an NJ LEEP student is all about losing. I have lost on summers at the beach, Friday nights at the movies, and Saturday mornings at the mall, replaced by a summer SAT prep, Friday night constitutional law debates, and Saturday grammar classes. NJ LEEP asks students to choose to lose social activities and replace them with challenging and substantive commitments. But because of the loss I experienced taught me important lessons, I was prepared to embrace the losses and lessons of NJ LEEP. As sophomores, students participate in NJ LEEP's most challenging program, constitutional law debates. Before my first debate, I was very nervous, but I prepared well as I could. On debate day, I found out that I was in competition with my best friend, Jelani. Hi, Jelani. I knew she was a better public speaker than me, but I did not care because I was certain my arguments were amazing and confident that the judges would love them and love me. At the award ceremony, I smiled from ear to ear, confident I had left losing in the past. And the winner is Jelani Woods. On the surface, I was happy for my friend, but on the inside, I was so upset. I wish I could say that. Having experienced so much loss, I was cool and handled defeat with grace and poise. But the truth is, as soon as I left the auditorium, I cried as hard as I ever have. As I reflected on the entire debate cycle, I realized I had not done my absolute best. I had not begun preparing for my brief as early as I could have. I vowed that for the next debate, I would work even harder. As soon as the next debate cycle began, I started preparing, and I continued to work for several hours every day into the debate. After months of hard work, I am proud to say that I won the second debate. In fact, I have gone on to win 2 more debates since, in addition to winning the SLI mock trial and the William E. Garland Award for Diligence, the award given to the debater who shows the most resilience, commitment, and persistence. NJ LEEP has helped me develop the same qualities I admire in my mother. I have become resilient, enduring, and powerful. Since I joined NJ LEEP when I was in the 8th grade, my life has changed dramatically. I remember my individual interview with Mr. Feinstein and Ms. Abby Tonto. They immediately pointed out a C on my report card and asked why I hadn't performed better. I was so embarrassed, but I also was glad that they cared so much about my academic performance. As I shared some of the challenges I had faced, the conversation became very emotional, and I started to cry. When I dried my eyes and looked across the table, I noticed that Ms. Abby Tonto was crying as well. It was a weird yet amazing experience to have someone who I barely knew cry with me. 4 years later, we are still crying together, only now we cry tears of joy. NJ LEEP has become my second family, and the staff is truly like my father. I look up to them. I am able to go to them when I need anything. Like fathers, NJ LEEP staff are often annoying, but that's because they hold you accountable and expect you to meet the highest of standards. NJ LEEP never gets easier. In fact, it always increases in rigor and expectation. As the workload of SAT prep and college applications grew, so did their commitment and encouragement. For my college applications, I wrote about 14 essays ranging from 150 to 600 words. With 30 students in the senior class, I cannot imagine how our editor and CAP teacher, Mr. Crawford, was able to edit hundreds of essays in time for us to meet our deadlines. But he did. This is just one example of the commitment NJ LEEP has displayed. NJ LEEP encourages me, holds me accountable, is proud of me, and believes in me, and loves me like a father should. While I know that many obstacles remain in my path, I am no longer afraid of challenges ahead, because I am confident they will teach me valuable lessons that will lead to my ultimate success. The fires of life will not consume me. Each time they surround me, I will emerge greater than I was before. Because of the love and dedication I received from my entire family, my mother, brother, stepfather, and NJ LEEP, I have received a full academic scholarship to attend the College of the Holy Cross. Thank you.
My apologies. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Micaiah Lucas. It is now my pleasure to get you introduced to you, NJ LEEP's Managing Director of Programs, Ms. Elizabeth Abitanto. You will hear throughout the course of the night, and if you talk to any of our students, that Miss A is really like a mother to all of our kids. And this year we actually have sent beyond 100 students to college over the course of our entire organizational history. And I think Miss A, as our students lovingly know her, really tell you about how every time one of our kids gets into college, it's like she gets into college and she feels it over and over again. And we are who we are because of all the love and support that Miss A puts into the program. So now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss A.
Thank you, Matthew. And so good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Miss Abitanto, or as some students will refer to me as Miss A, or Big Mama here, as Matthew Feinstein was referring to, and I'm NJ LEEP's Managing Director of Programs. And you just heard of Nakaya talk about how NJ LEEP has impacted her life, but often overlooked element of our community is the effect that the students have on each of us. And so we thank you, students in the room and those that are not here, because in a way you change the way we think about ourselves, our communities, and our values. I have worked for NJ LEEP for over 5 years, and in that time, I've had the incredible privilege of seeing over 100 students go through our college application process. Each year, thank you. Each year at the Gala, we ask one of our seniors to share their story in order to help our supporters understand the magnitude of their impact. But as staff, and with our board, and with our students, one of the key areas of focus for us is what happens to Abdurrahman, Amanda, Sharad, Nakaya, and their classmates once they take that leap to college. The experience of first-generation and minority students on college campuses are oftentimes journeys fraught with peril, fear, and isolation. I know this far too well. We felt that tonight it was important for us to ask one of our students to share with you his journey, both the highs and the lows, in matriculating to a competitive college like Holy Cross. I promise not all of our students go to Holy Cross, from an underperforming high school. The challenges Emmanuel faced, unfortunately, are common for the population of students we've served. But at NJ LEEP, we have always sought to learn from our challenges and ensure that each successive class of students is able to incorporate these lessons learned into their experience. In addition, we seek to ensure that every one of our students knows that they have a community supporting them along their journey. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you this evening, Emmanuel Dortu.
Good evening, everyone. From Africa to North America, though my life journey has required me to change countries and continents, one thing has remained constant: family. Family knows no borders. Family knows no end. 8 years after joining NJ LEEP, I stand before you today because NJ LEEP is a family. Through my many ups and downs, NJ LEEP has remained by my side, supported me, and challenged me. Many people think that NJ LEEP is a 4-year program, but they are incorrect. NJ LEEP is a family, and its commitment to its students is eternal. To truly share with you how much NJ LEEP has impacted me, I must start from the beginning. A couple months before the end of 8th grade, a speaker came to my school to invite graduating 8th graders to interview for a program called NJ LEEP.
His name was Mr. Crawford. Although I don't remember much of what he said, 2 words became etched in my mind: public speaking. Throughout my childhood, I faced constant bullying and isolation because I was an African immigrant with a funny last name, which eventually turned me into a shy and timid person. Still, I aspired to become a confident person. And at the time, I equated confidence with being able to speak in front of a large group of people without being nervous. Check me out now. Thanks. So after hearing Mr. Crawford speak, I was sold. Before that summer ended, students were offered the opportunity to reapply to NJ-LEAP's 4-year college-bound program, in which we will learn more about the law and be provided with more academic challenges. Coming from an immigrant family that saw education as the only hope for a promising future, I knew I had to attend college. So the more I listened to NJ-LEAP talk about high expectations, work ethic, and commitment, the more they sounded like my family. Soon, NJ-LEAP became more than just a second high school. It became a second home, a place where staff members are more like aunts and uncles, and your friends are your brothers and sisters. Because everyone shared the same goal of pursuing higher education, I could measure my growth by keeping pace with my peers. Remaining on the same page with my NJ-LEAP brothers and sisters forced me to push myself harder than I ever had before. By June of 2012, I had transformed into the person I always wanted to be. I graduated NJ-LEAP and high school, a different Emmanuel than the one that entered the Summer Law Institute. Graduating from North 13th Vocational Technical High School with a 3.55 GPA, I look forward to my first semester at the College of the Holy Cross. Thanks. Based on my high school and NJ-LEAP accomplishments, I felt like I was ready for Holy Cross. Unfortunately, I've quickly learned that high school and college were 2 different worlds, especially if I plan to major in computer engineering. At college, the workload and distractions increased as the monitoring from parents and other adults decreased. To excel, I had to be more focused and more diligent. But during my first semester, I allowed the workload to overwhelm me. The more overwhelmed I became, the less work I wanted to do. So I looked for comfort in the social side of college. After hanging out with friends until all hours of the night and enjoying every party I could get into, I ended that semester with a confidence-shattering 1.47 GPA. Devastated and embarrassed, I came home for the winter break and faced my family at home and at NJ-LEAP. They were disappointed, but they encouraged me to learn the lessons my fall semester had taught me. NJ-LEAP also helped me identify resources on Holy Cross's campus and plan my spring semester schedule. So I returned to Holy Cross with the drive to do better. After a hard-fought spring semester, I earned a 2.53 and brought my cumulative GPA up to a 2.0. Throughout that semester, Mr. Feinstein would call me often so that he could see how I was doing and try to motivate me. I really appreciate him calling because as the first NJ-LEAP grad to attend Holy Cross, I often felt alone. I knew Mr. Feinstein was confident in my abilities to do great things at Holy Cross because he was the staff who brought the school to my attention, encouraged me to apply, and helped me secure financial aid. I felt that in addition to letting myself down, I was also letting down Mr. Feinstein, the rest of the LEAP community, and my family. I felt like a failure and couldn't help but feel like I had devalued my family's journey from Liberia to America. I feared going back for my sophomore year and having the same results. So instead of returning to school, I took a leave of absence and decided to enlist in the military. When I went to NJ-LEAP to inform them, Mr. Feinstein and Mr. Crawford pleaded with me to reconsider. They reminded me that finishing my freshman year with a 2.0 after attending a technical vocational high school was not something to be ashamed of. They told me that the lessons I learned from my freshman year prepared me to have an awesome sophomore year. They expressed so much confidence in me, but my confidence in myself was gone. We talked and talked and talked. Actually, they talked and talked and talked. 4 hours later, we had not resolved our impasse. I could tell they were disappointed in my decision, but they wished me the best and told me if I ever need anything, to call right away. A couple weeks later, I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, dressed in full Army combat uniform and a pair of combat boots. I had enlisted in the military. As a first-time active duty enlistee of the U.S. Army, I considered becoming a career Army man, but I quickly realized that the Army was not for me. After basic training and advanced individual training, things did not work out, and I began the discharge process. With that door closed, I felt there was no way to bounce back. There seemed to be no light at the end of this tunnel, and I felt hopeless. Over time, with the support from my family and NJ LEEP, the negative thoughts ceased, and I became focused on learning the lessons of my time at Holy Cross and in the Army and moving forward. My mind went back to the day Mr. Crawford and Mr. Feinstein sat me down and attempted to convince me to continue with college instead of joining the military. I could hear Mr. Crawford advising me on how important it is to always have a plan. I wasn't much of a planner, but I knew if I wanted to do better, I had to create a plan and stick to it. I decided I would go back to college, but for financial reasons, I would stay local. In December of 2014, I closed another chapter of my life and returned home to Newark, New Jersey. Despite my mistakes, my parents welcomed me back with open arms and encouraged me to begin executing my plan right away. Fortunately, they weren't the only ones that welcomed me back with open arms. When I walked into NJ LEEP's new offices and told the bad news to Mr. Feinstein, he wouldn't let my failure become the main topic of the conversation. He was more focused on how I was doing and helping me prepare for the next move. NJ LEEP's commitment to me had not ended. Mr. Feinstein and the entire staff was still there to support and encourage me. I told him of my plans to stay local, and although I knew he wanted me to go back to Holy Cross, he supported my decision to attend New Jersey Institute of Technology. It was good to know that the support system I grew to depend on was always there. Always there for me, even if they disagreed with my decision. NJ LEEP never said, "I told you so," or "You should have listened to us." They never used my mistakes to embarrass or demean me. In fact, I realized I had grown closer to NJ LEEP during the tough times. The challenges I have faced reveal the incredible depth of NJ LEEP's concern. For example, I can come to Ms. A anytime for advice and motivation or talk about anything on my mind. I can call, text, or stop by the office without an appointment and find a staff member who will talk me through a decision no matter how big or how small. Also, I have become even closer to the brothers and sisters I met in NJ LEEP, like Jabir Brinkley, who has surely become a brother to me. Many times when I could not cheer myself up, a conversation with Jabir would inspire me to keep moving forward. My relationship with NJ LEEP staff and students spans space and time. Even when I was far away from New Jersey, their endless love traveled with me to Worcester, Massachusetts, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and Sierra Vista, Arizona. This past fall, I started my first semester at NJIT, more mature, focused, and determined than I have ever been. I decided to pursue a computer science degree, and I completed my first semester with a 3.6. The next goal was to prepare myself for professional success by securing a summer internship. I am proud to say that this summer, I will be a technology analyst intern at JP Morgan Chase. I am thankful to my family, and I am thankful to NJ LEEP, because without them, none of this would be possible. When we left our family in Liberia, my parents, siblings, and I had no idea what was waiting for us in America. Fortunately, what we found here is exactly what we left behind, true family. Over the last 8 years and counting, NJ LEEP staff and students have shown me that it is much more than just a college prep program. NJ LEEP is a family, and family is forever. Thanks.
Good evening. Emmanuel, you definitely made some great strides because it is terrifying up here, I can tell you. How tough to follow everyone that I'm following tonight. My name is Lisa Cheney, and I'm a partner at Paul Hastings. My firm has been a supporter of NJ LEEP for quite some time, and I've been on the advisory board for a couple of years. I would just like to first start off by congratulating our graduating seniors. Job well done, 100% acceptance to college this year, and a special thank you, that's right. A special thank you to tonight's honoree, Mark. Your words were very inspirational and right on point with what we're trying to do here tonight. And especially to the student speakers, wow, it's tough to be up in a room like this, and at such a young age to have such poise and grace. Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting us on your journey. We're so happy to be a part of it, however big or small. So, a few years ago, I had never heard of this organization, and I was sitting at my desk one day and got an email from a senior partner inviting me and a few others to this gala. Apparently there were a few last-minute cancellations, and so, for those of you who know me a little bit better than others, hi Melissa, I don't, miss out on a free meal or an opportunity to get out of the office at 5 with no questions asked, so here I said absolutely, why not? And, it would be a good opportunity to rub elbows with some senior partners at my firm and enjoy a nice, standard chicken dinner and maybe some light conversations, so I thought, great. And I walked in thinking that's what I was in for. And I walked out with my life changed based on what I experienced in a room just like this. I'd never been to an event where the students who participate in the program are actually interspersed with the titans of industry and the lawyers, and yes, I called you titans of industry. It was great to get to interact with the students one-on-one, and somewhere between my salad and my chicken course, similar to what we're having tonight, I caught myself staring across the table at this young woman, amazed at how calm and mature she was, that she was just telling her story and basically being interviewed by total strangers, at sort of an awkward dinner encounter, and it was just amazing to me at such a young age how much maturity was there. And then the 2 NJ LEEP students got up and spoke to the room, just like Nakaya and Emmanuel just did tonight. And wow, what an inspiration. I literally sat back and thought, it is sort of rare these days that I feel like a complete underachiever, but that's really how I felt. Mostly, I just felt so inspired and so humbled and so thankful that I, even in a small way, just by being there that night, was invited to be a part of their journey, their path, these rising stars. It was amazing to me, these inspirational, driven, hard-working warriors who have just already tackled and accomplished so much. The sky's the limit. So I knew that I had to get involved. I knew that I had to do more. I wanted to become a part of the community of NJ LEEP, and we've heard that word a lot tonight. And that's really what this organization is all about. So I promise, graduating seniors, this is the last time we're going to ask you to do this tonight, but can we have all of our graduating seniors please stand up so we can congratulate you? So great. So great. That's right. That's right. With 100% acceptance rates, we are so privileged and honored to be here and be with you and be a part of your community that has helped you get this far and will always be here for you. Thank you so much. You can sit down. I promise that's the last one. I will share with you 2 thoughts from things that have happened on my journey from my community for these graduating seniors, which is whatever you do, do it with class. No matter how big or small the task is, always give it your all and you will shine. And no matter how seemingly small the task is, it's putting that extra effort in that really does make the difference and makes you shine. Secondly, and Emmanuel, I just loved hearing from you tonight, no matter how hard it is, no matter how seemingly impossible, you can do it. If it was easy, anyone could do it. Anyone could do it the first time. Anyone could do it the same way. That's just not how it is. You find your own path, you carve your own way, and you can do it. It's just such an honor to hear your story and to be a part of it. If you believe that nothing is impossible, and that's what you've shown us tonight, you've already accomplished so much. If you really hold on to that, and if you believe that, and in your hard days, if you reach out to your mentors, your tutors, the folks at NJ LEEP, the people in your community, your board of directors of your life, to help keep you going, to say, great job today, or please don't give up, or you can do it. If you hold on to that, nothing is impossible, you will come to realize, as we've already seen in you and you're starting to believe in yourself, you will be unstoppable in what you can accomplish. And the only limitation is going to be how big you can dream. That's it. That's it. So, in preparation for this evening, I reached out to some of the students at NJ LEEP and to some of the people in my own community, colleagues, friends, mentors, clients, and asked for a couple of examples of little things or big things that someone somewhere did along the way to help encourage these people in my community, and I would like to share just a couple of them with you. Miss A, you are famous. When I transferred into NJ LEEP, I felt overwhelmed. Miss A offered me a helping hand. When I felt uncomfortable speaking in honor council, or when I felt bad for being chosen as secretary of the council, Miss A reminded me of my success and of the honor council's non-judgmental atmosphere, which helped me open up. Whenever I'm stressed, I know that I can speak to Miss A and that she will listen and help me. Another one we received was, I remember in 10th grade, we were reading Macbeth, and I just couldn't understand one single word of that book. This could have been me writing this. My teacher was so great and told me, yes, sometimes it isn't fair that it's easy for some people and harder for others, but in the end, keep trying and focus on my success and show the world what I'm made of. It can take many years, but we will get there. Life is a marathon, and as long as I stay persistent and focused and keep moving forward, I know that I will only get luckier and succeed in the end. I finished the book and got an A on the assignment. And lastly, sometimes you feel down and just need a hand up. We all have challenges to face in our lives every day. Some are big and keep coming at you, and some are just the day-to-day ones that can occasionally seem bigger than they should. I remember one day when I couldn't be the person I wanted to be because I was feeling overwhelmed and insecure. My teacher came up to me and just asked how I was. I think he must have sensed I was upset, and all I said was I was okay. But he stayed and he talked for a while. I told him I didn't have my work done for another teacher, and he said not to worry. We walked together to that teacher's desk, and we all talked. She said it was okay and that sometimes we just can't meet everyone's expectations. I felt like I could breathe again and that I could have another good day after all. It didn't take much, but it took noticing, caring, and communication. I was lucky that day and have not forgotten it. So, on behalf of NJ LEEP, as a member of the advisory board, I want to thank you all for your continued support. And if you're new here tonight, as I've met some people who are at the Gala for the first time, as I was a couple of years ago, I hope that you are as inspired tonight as I was and want to do more and get involved more and really become a part of this community, whether in a big way or a small way. It's so wonderful. You know, we all have something in common, and my journey within this organization has really allowed me to learn how much I have in common with these students and how much we all have in common. I mean, where were you when you received that college acceptance letter? How excited, how relieved were you? I know exactly where I was, and I knew the order and priority of the people that I called on rapid dial. It was so wonderful, and that's what we share with them. And how special was it to reach out to those special, quiet supporters in your life, sometimes people that didn't even realize what an impact they had on your life and on your path. Someone that just said, keep going. Someone that said, thank you or great job. Somebody that told you, I'm here with you no matter what, thick or thin, you can't make any mistakes with me. We all have that in common, and it's that feeling, it's that community. That's what NJ LEEP is to me, and that's what it is for everyone who's really involved. So we would love to have this community grow, and we hope that you are as inspired as I have been and those of us who are involved have been over the years. So tonight, in asking for your continued support or your new support of the organization, of the journeys of these rising stars, of the community generally, we are encouraging as much support as you are able to give. And just as people in our lives and in our communities have given us things big and small, what we're asking for comes in all shapes and sizes tonight. Of course, dollars are encouraged and most welcome. The bigger the better. But we also encourage people to get more involved and to learn more about the organization. So aside from financial contributions, we would welcome having people's contact information if you want to learn more. We have so many amazing programs to volunteer for, and the volunteers really are what make it happen. From mentoring, attending moot court competitions, tutoring, hosting internships, there are a million ways to get involved in a very small way or a grand way, whatever feels comfortable for you, and we would just love to have you and really encourage that. And in terms of any financial contributions that those of you would be willing to make and are going to make hopefully this evening, Matt informed me tonight that we received an anonymous pledge of $20,000 to match the first $20,000 of donations tonight. Yes? So I will give everyone a moment to locate. Everyone received one of these pledge cards on their place, hopefully. We would ask any donations that people can make tonight, please do. There are pens, there are cards, there are envelopes. We will have people at the doors and coming by to collect them from you. Please give as much as you can. Give until it hurts a little bit, and then give a little bit more until it feels really good. It's for a great cause, and I would like to kick things off on the financial side of things by pledging $1,000 this evening to start that match. Yep. So please join me. Please join me on the journey. And as people are finishing their dinner and winding down their evenings, taking a moment to either leave their business card or fill out their personal information or give a gift, I will just leave you with one last quote that I received in preparation for tonight, which is, a teacher wrote me a recommendation letter for a scholarship application, and he let me read a copy. He wrote that he expected to see great contributions to American society from me. It didn't dawn on me at the time that I could actually dream that big, but those words were the beginning of realizing that anything is possible. So tonight, whatever you can give, your time, something financially, even just good word of mouth, just leaving inspired and thinking about the people in your life that supported your path and maybe reaching back and saying thank you, or telling somebody about this evening, about these amazing rising stars, and letting other people hear about the organization. And before I say goodnight, I would just like to kick things off on that side of the contribution as well, and I would like to thank tonight a couple of the people on my board of directors of life that are here tonight. Barry, thank you so much for sending me that email a few years ago and inviting me to this gala, and for always being there and supporting me on my path. John, thank you for always telling me that I was unstoppable, even when I really didn't believe it some days. And Nicole, thank you always for being such a support, letting me mentor you, and then you in turn mentoring me in my path. It's been lovely having you on the team, and I really appreciate everything that you are, and I love being a part of your journey, and thank you for being part of mine. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a wonderful evening and get home safely, and looking forward to working with you in the future. Congratulations again to all of our rising stars.